They invaded Earth with fire? How quaint. Watch humanity's clever counterstrike. They thought humans were fragile relics, clinging to a forgotten rock at the galaxy's edge, until the fire they unleashed turned against them, ringing a bell that echoed through the stars. The Drathis fleet materialized in orbit around Terra Prime like a storm cloud of steel and plasma. 1,200 heavy warships formed a blockade, their energy grids interlocking to trap any civilian vessel daring to flee. Kaelor, the Grand Admiral, stood on the bridge of his flagship, his 2.5-meter frame towering over the consoles, metallic skin gleaming under the harsh lights, his four-pupiled eyes rotating to scan every tactical display. He activated the global comms channel. By the Charter of Stellar Paths enacted in 2147, Terra Prime occupies the ancient FTL Nexus. This junction belongs to the Drathis League. Surrender it or face purification. From lunar orbit, human observation posts detected the invasion's full scope. 500 Drathis transport ships trailed the armada, loaded with mining gear to convert the planet into a cosmic toll station. Alarms blared in the hidden bases. Kaelor wasted no time. He targeted New York first. "Activate the tidal lens," he commanded. The weapon fired, warping ocean tides into a 300-meter surge that ignited the city's core in 45 seconds. Flames erupted from the ground, consuming structures in a blaze visible from space. Millions of holographic civilians screamed in simulated panic, their projections designed to fool scanners. Deep beneath the Alps, in a command bunker carved from reinforced bedrock, Isolde Kane watched the hologram feeds. Her slender Euro-Asian features remained stoic, silver-blue uniform crisp, her dark eyes calculating every pixel. As a scientist-turned-military leader, she had foreseen this. "Activate Project Twin," she ordered her aides. Systems hummed to life, sinking the underground cities with surface decoys. On the lunar lab, Erin Kale, a 28-year-old engineer with wild red hair and grease-streaked overalls, hunched over her workbench. She muttered to herself, tweaking the resonant seeds. "Frequency at 783 Hz, perfect for piercing those shields." The devices, palm-sized orbs, pulsed faintly, ready to turn enemy defenses into vulnerabilities. Terra Prime's surface descended into chaos. 10 million decoy civilians evacuated in scripted disorder, holograms and robots mimicking fear to mask the real population. 8 billion actual humans sheltered in subterranean vaults, layers of geology shielding them from scans. Kaelor leaned back in his command chair, a smirk twisting his features. He dismissed humanity's weakness, ignorant of their resistance in the cosmic wars of 2190. "Pathetic," he broadcast. "You squat on treasure without grasping its worth. I grant you 300 days to evacuate. Delay and your world becomes ash." The ultimatum spread across galactic networks, bundled with falsified data on the cleansing of 3 cities. It silenced potential allies, cowing them with Drathis might. In a sealed chamber, the Greenlight Council convened. 12 members, 1 per continent, reviewed the feeds. "This is our pivot," one said. "Their aggression hands us the galaxy's judgment." They approved the counterphase, viewing the crisis as a chance to rewrite stellar law. Kaelor paced his bridge, eyes whirling. Reports confirmed the decimation. New York reduced to slag, its inhabitants vaporized. Satisfaction coursed through him. The humans had no fleet worth noting, no defenses against his arsenal. Or so intel claimed. He signaled for the next strike, but a faint anomaly blinked on a sensor, dismissed as cosmic noise. Isolde leaned forward in her bunker, hologram maps updating in real time. "Seeds ready?" she asked via secure link. Erin's voice crackled back. "Locked and loaded. They'll never see it coming." The council nodded in unison. Humanity's trap was set, turning Drathis' arrogance into a noose. As the fleet tightened its grip, lunar catapults prepped. Kaelor's voice boomed again. "Witness the law of fire." But beneath the surface, lights flickered in the twin cities, life persisting unseen. The game had begun. Kaelor savored the silence from Terra Prime. No pleas, no counterattacks. Good. His transport ships descended, probing for resources. "Secure the Nexus," he ordered. Drones launched, mapping the FTL lanes that made this world priceless. In the lunar shadows, Erin sealed the last seed canister. These babies will resonate right through their fields, she said to her team. Turn their power against them. Launch sequences initiated, silent and swift. Isolde addressed her inner circle. We sacrifice illusions to expose truth. Drathis claims law, but will ring the bell of justice. Nods rippled through the room. Data streams flowed, confirming 0 real casualties. Kalor's laughter echoed on his bridge. Humans extinct by their own folly. He prepared for Shinjara next, unaware of the seeds hurtling toward his ships at fractional light speed. The blockade held firm, energy webs pulsing. Terra Prime spun below, scarred but defiant in secret. The Council's plan unfolded layer by layer. Each decoy death a calculated step. Irin watched the trajectories. Impact in hours. Then the fun starts. Her grin was fierce, a spark of human ingenuity. Isolde closed her eyes briefly, then reopened them with resolve. For all of us. The ultimatum's clock ticked, but humanity's response brewed in the dark. Kalor reviewed victory projections. Total control in weeks. He leaned into his throne, eyes fixed on the burning horizon. But in the vaults, billions waited. The fire had ignited, yet the bell was prepared to toll. The Drathis fleet tightened its noose around Terra Prime, their energy grids pulsing with cold precision. Kalor's flagship loomed in high orbit, its sensors sweeping for resistance that never came. Below, the surface smoldered where Neo York once stood, a calculated illusion of ruin. In the Alps bunker, Isolde Kane monitored the feeds, her silver-blue uniform catching the flicker of hologram displays. Her orders were crisp. Sink the twin cities, keep the decoys active. Aides nodded, their consoles alive with data streams from Project Twin, initiated in 2215 to carve 3 subterranean metropolises, each housing 50 million souls, powered by geothermal reactors, humming at 92% efficiency. 5 kilometers underground, vast tunnels stretched 100 meters wide, lined with reinforced alloy. AI systems maintained oxygen at 21% and a steady 20 setting, cloaking the cities from Drathis scans. Families moved through cavernous plazas, their lives uninterrupted, watching fake evacuations play out on surface feeds. The deception held. Kalor's intelligence reports that humanity has broken, their fleet a mere 200 outdated ships. He lounged in his cabin, reviewing falsified casualty counts, oblivious to the 500 stealth cruisers hidden behind Luna's dark side. On the lunar base, Erin Kale's lab buzzed. She adjusted a resonant seed, its 10-centimeter frame glowing faintly. 85% energy drain on their shield, she muttered, testing a prototype against a simulated Drathis field. Her augmented reality glasses flashed code, confirming resonance at 783 Hz, a frequency that would turn enemy defenses into open doors. Launch prep complete, she reported, voice sharp with defiance. Kalor's about to get a surprise. Galactic networks buzzed with news of the massacre. 30 million reported dead, a lie that cowed neutral species like the Zorath into silence. Kalor's ultimatum echoed, demanding evacuation within 300 days. In the Greenlight Council's chamber, 12 leaders reviewed the gambit. The galaxy sees death, one said. We show them the truth. Holograms and robotic decoys had played their part, framing Drathis for war crimes. The Council approved the next phase. Unleash the seeds. Isolde's voice cut through the comms. Launch now! From Luna, 5,000 seeds rocketed at HFY toward 300 Drathis capital ships. Each device, no larger than a fist, was designed to latch onto shield matrices, siphoning energy and hijacking data streams. Erin grinned at her monitor, recording a log. Kalor thinks he's a god king. Those shields, they're my antenna now, broadcasting his crimes galaxy-wide. Her team cheered, the air crackling with purpose. Above, Kalor studied his tactical maps, plotting Shinjara's destruction. His 4-pupiled eyes whirled, catching a faint glitch in the shield readouts. Technical error, he dismissed, waving a clawed hand. His pride blinded him to the seed's approach. He leaned toward a lieutenant. Prepare the tidal lens. Shinjara falls next. The order was cold, final, his belief in human frailty unshaken. Underground, civilians gathered around screens, watching the decoy chaos unfold. A child pointed at a hologram of burning New York. "Why don't we fight?" An elder hushed her. "We are, just not how they expect." The Twin Cities thrummed, their reactors powering life support and comms, invisible to the invaders. Isolde paced the bunker, her mind racing through contingencies. Childhood memories of humanity's first FTL exodus in 2180 fueled her resolve. She'd seen her people claw their way from refugees to galactic players. "Drathis underestimates us," she told her staff. "That's their mistake." Data confirmed the seeds were en route, their stealth coatings evading detection. Irin's lab was a whirlwind of activity. Technicians loaded the final canisters, each seed programmed to sync with Drathis's shield harmonics. "Hit them where it hurts," she said, tweaking a frequency modulator. Her team ran diagnostics, confirming 80% deployment readiness. The seeds would strike within hours, turning Kalor's strength into a liability. In orbit, Drathis transports began surface scans, probing for FTL Nexus controls. Kalor's voice boomed over open channels. "Your time dwindles, humans." He smirked, imagining their despair. But 20% of his league's senators, sensing a trap, sent covert signals to Terra Prime, seeking proof of humanity's gambit. Isolde intercepted one such message. "They're wavering," she noted, eyes narrowing. "Good. Let the seeds do their work." Her strategy hinged on exposure, not bloodshed. The council murmured agreement, their faces lit by tactical displays. "We turn their fire into our signal," one said. Irin's voice crackled through. "Seeds are 90% to target, ready to flip the switch." Her fingers danced over controls, her mind alight with equations. The lunar catapult stood silent now, their job done. Outside, the starry void hid humanity's counterstrike. Kalor's flagship hummed with overconfidence. He ordered a feast to celebrate the easy conquest, unaware of the seeds closing in. His lieutenants reported stable systems, missing the faint energy dips in their shields. Below, the Twin Cities pulsed with life. A technician in the tunnels checked air filters, nodding at the stable readouts. "They'll never find us," he said. His partner smirked. "Not until we want them to." Isolde stood before a hologram of Terra Prime, its surface scarred, but its heart intact. "Phase 2 begins now," she said. The seeds would expose Kalor's crimes, but the real battle was for the galaxy's trust. She clenched a fist, her calm exterior masking a fire to rival Drathis. In lunar orbit, Irin watched the seed trajectories converge. "Showtime," she whispered, flipping the activation switch. The devices hummed, invisible to Drathis's sensors, ready to turn shields into sieves. Kalor laughed, his voice echoing through his bridge. "Humans are dust." But the dust was rising, and the bell was about to ring. Kalor's flagship thrummed with power as he targeted Shinjara. "Fire the tidal lens," he commanded, his voice a metallic rumble. The beam lanced down, twisting ocean currents into chaos. Tides bent unnaturally, surging inward to ignite the planet's core. Explosions ripped through the crust, devouring 500 square kilometers in 2 minutes. Holographic buildings crumbled, decoy flames lighting the horizon. Simulated screams echoed in data feeds, fooling Drathis sensors into registering total annihilation. New Albion followed. Kalor's eyes rotated 360 degrees, locking on the symbolic city. "Purge it," he said. The lens fired again, warping atmospheric tides into a radioactive storm. 10 million foe inhabitants vaporized in scripted agony, leaving a dust cloud that shrouded orbit for 48 hours. Radiation plumes bloomed, masking human activities below. Kalor leaned forward, his metallic skin reflecting the glow of tactical screens. Pride swelled in him, rooted in his military nobility heritage. "This is the law of strength," he declared to his bridge crew. "Humans bow or burn." In the Alps bunker, Isolde Kane sifted through initial seed data hacks. Streams poured in, revealing Drathis' internal networks bloated with 1 petabyte of plans to monopolize FTL junctions. "They aim for 5 more systems," she noted, her voice steady. Aides cross-referenced the intel, confirming violations of galactic charters. The seeds had latched silently, beginning their drain. On Luna, Erin Kale's lab sparked with adjustments. She dialed the seed frequency to 14 hertz, syncing it to Drathus's heart rhythms. "This'll scramble their biology," she said, glasses flashing simulations. Crews would feel nausea, disorientation, and subtle sabotage before full breach. Her team ran tests, confirming the upgrade would amplify energy siphon rates. Galactic channels flooded with massacre signals. Billions tuned in, horrified by the feeds. Neutral species recoiled, but the Greenlight Council acted. They dispatched encrypted proofs to 50 allied races, exposing the holograms and robots. "No real deaths," the packets read. "Drathus commits fraud and aggression." Whispers spread, eroding League support. In orbit, 200 Drathi ships dropped shields for recharge cycles. Routine maintenance, they thought. Seeds exploited the gap, adhering like parasites. Energy drain kicked in at 20% per hour, invisible at first. Alarms stayed silent, masked as fluctuations. Isolde linked with Erin via a secure channel. "Status?" she asked. Erin's face appeared on a hologram. "Seeds embedded. Draining now. We don't kill, we expose. That's our edge." Isolde nodded. "Precisely. Their violence becomes our evidence." The strategy clicked. Turn Drathus might into self-incrimination. Erin smirked. "Watch them squirm." Kalor received the first anomaly report on his bridge. "Energy leaks across the fleet," a lieutenant reported. Kalor's eyes whirled, scanning diagnostics. "Technical glitch. Inspect 100 vessels." Teams scrambled, but the seeds burrowed deeper, their resonance fields expanding. Too late. Drains accelerated, sapping power from weapons arrays. Below, twin cities hummed at 99% safety. Civilians monitored feeds, morale steady. An engineer in the tunnels checked structural integrity. "Decoys held," he said. "Phase 3 ready." Families shared meals under artificial skies, unaware of the orbital dance. Kalor paced, dismissing doubts. "Humans are crushed," he insisted. His nobility blinded him. Generations of conquest made failure unthinkable. He ordered probes to scan the ruins, seeking surrender signals. None came. Instead, faint data echoes hinted at anomalies, but he waved them off. Isolde's bunker thrummed with updates. Seed hacks yielded more. Drathus blueprints for Nexus control, timelines for occupation. "We have them," she said. Aides prepared broadcasts, weaving proofs into narratives for galactic courts. Erin fine-tuned from Luna. "Frequency locked. Biological feedback starting." Drathus's crews would feel it soon. Headaches, vertigo, not lethal, but disruptive. Her team cheered as confirmation pings arrived. Seeds operational, data flowing back. Orbit shifted subtly. Drathus's ships dimmed, their grids flickering. Kalor's lieutenant returned. "Inspections show nothing, Admiral." Frustration built. "Double efforts," he snapped. But the leaks persisted, energy hemorrhaging into a void. Greenlight Council reviewed the escalation. "Their displays accelerate our timeline," one member said. Proofs dispatched, alliances stirred. Zorath envoys signaled interest, probing for more. Isolde addressed her team. "We endure their fire. Now we reflect on it." Holograms updated, showing seed penetration at 60%. The trap tightened. Kalor stared at Terra Prime's scarred face. One more city, and they break. But the dust clouds hid truths, and his fleet weakened unknowingly. Erin watched trajectories. Impact cascading. Her upgrades ensured the seeds would sync with Drathus vitals, turning bodies against machines. In the voids, seeds pulsed. Drains hit critical thresholds. Kalor's bridge lights dimmed briefly, an omen ignored. Twin cities prepared ascent protocols. Safety held, decoys expended. Humanity's counter loomed. Kalor laughed, eyes fixed on screens. The galaxy witnesses our right. But whispers of doubt crept in, fueled by unseen hackers. Isolde closed the link with Erin. "Proceed to full activation." The meeting ended, strategy solid. Orbitals churned. Drathus's power waned. Human resolve burned brighter. The seeds activated in unison across the Drathus fleet. 10,000 devices synced, piercing shield matrices like needles through fabric. Energy fields warped, turning defenses into reverse data conduits. Downloads surged at 500 gigabytes per minute, pulling internal logs straight to human servers. Drathis fractured, their own systems betraying them. In the lunar base, Erin Kale's augmented reality glasses lit with code streams. She smirked, watching the cascade. Thanks for the free antenna, Kalor. Now the galaxy watches your crime flick. Her voice carried over the lab speakers, drawing nods from her team. 200 engineers monitored 3D radars, tracking attachments. 80% success, one reported. Seeds clung to hulls, invisible drains accelerating. Isolde Kane's bunker is filled with incoming data. She scanned the feeds, voice calm over internal channels. Hack confirms Kalor violated 12 charter clauses. He's a war criminal now. Aides cross-checked, flagging orders for the city strikes. Direct proof of aggression without cause. The intel painted Drathis as aggressors, not enforcers. Kalor's bridge plunged into chaos. Screens flickered, systems locking out. He slammed a fist on the console, his four-pupiled eyes spinning wildly. What is this? Alarms blared as 30% of controls slipped away. Traitors! Find them! Lieutenants scrambled, but the hacks deepened, exposing command logs to open broadcasts. Galactic feeds erupted with leaked footage. Massacre images streamed to the Galactic Union Council, shocking 200 species. Delegates gasped at visuals of burning cities, then recoiled as metadata revealed holograms. No real deaths. Whispers turned to outrage. Drathis had faked genocide for conquest. The Greenlight Council linked with Erin's team. Force the rebroadcast, a member ordered. Erin keyed commands, compelling Drathis ships to loop their own data. Proofs flooded out. Empty ruins, robotic decoys. 40% of Drathis's allies wavered, cutting comms links mid-transmission. Underground on Terra Prime, vast screens in the Twin Cities showed the unfolding drama. Civilians clustered, cheers rising as enemy shields dimmed 50%. They're crumbling, one said, fist-pumping. Morale spiked, the hidden population sensing victory's edge. Isolde dispatched encrypted messages to neutral races. Drathis aren't lawmakers, they're thieves. We have the evidence. Packets included hacked files, irrefutable timestamps on Kalor's orders. Responses trickled in, alliances shifting. The hack amassed 2 petabytes of data, detailing plans to seize 5 other star systems. Kalor's political standing cratered instantly, senators distancing themselves via back channels. Erin leaned back in her chair, glasses reflecting success metrics. Data's pouring in, their Nexus blueprints, troop deployments, all ours. Engineers high-fived, radars confirming full penetration. The lunar base hummed, a nerve center turning invasion into rout. Kalor roared on his bridge, systems failing around him. Isolate the breach! But seeds resonated deeper, sinking with ship cores. Power dipped, weapons offline. His eyes darted, spotting phantom signals. Human code weaving through Drathis's firewalls. Isolde reviewed the hall in her bunker. Broadcast the violations. Let the council vote. Aides compiled dossiers, weaving narratives from stolen files. The strategy paid off. Exposure over firepower. Galactic delegates convened virtually, screens filled with leaked proofs. A Zorath rep spoke first. This deception voids their claims. Murmurs agreed, Drathis reps scrambling to counter. Greenlight Council monitored the fallout. Push the rebroadcast loop, Erin advised via link. Commands executed, forcing enemy vessels to echo their crimes. Shields weakened further, energy siphoned to fuel the very transmissions damming them. Twin cities erupted in quiet celebration. Screens showed Drathis ships drifting, lights flickering. A technician adjusted feeds. Shields at half. They're blind now. Isolde's messages hit neutral inboxes. Join us. End this farce. Replies affirmed, species pledging observers to the unfolding trial. Kalor's panic peaked. Full diagnostic, he bellowed, but 30% loss climbed to 40%, systems hemorrhaging data. His nobility crumbled under the assault. No traitor aboard, just human ingenuity. Erin tracked the metrics. Downloads complete, 2 petabytes secured. Her team sealed the streams, prepping for Phase 5. Isolde nodded at her console. We've turned their network against them. The bunker thrummed with efficiency, human tactics outpacing alien brute force. Council broadcasts widened. Shocked species demanded answers. Drathis comms jammed by their own echoes. Kalor clutched his throne, eyes whirling. Impossible. But the impossible unfolded, human hacks stripping his fleet bare. Underground civilians watched shields fail. Our turn, one murmured. Spirits soared, the hidden world ready to emerge. Irin shut down a console. Antennas live, Kalor. Enjoy the show. Laughter rippled through the lab. Isolde sent the final packet. Evidence sealed. Proceed to containment. Orbitals shifted. Drathis vessels vulnerable. The resonance built. A symphony of downfall. Drathis alliances fractured like glass under pressure. 50 species severed ties overnight. Zorath senators leading the charge with public condemnations. Deception voids your authority, one broadcast stated, pulling 300 support ships from the fleet. Kalor's armada shrank, gaps appearing in the blockade as vessels peeled away. Kalor raged on his bridge, eyes spinning in fury. Counterstrike! Launch everything! 1,000 nuclear missiles streaked toward Terra Prime, warheads primed for surface penetration. But hidden planetary shields activated, absorbing the barrage. Impacts caused only minor tremors, dust clouds rising harmlessly, no breaches. Kalor stared at screens, disbelief mounting. The Galactic Union Council convened an emergency session, 300 delegates holographically linked. Hacked data played out, city strikes exposed as fakes, Drathis plans laid bare. Votes tallied swiftly, Drathis stripped of 20% voting rights. Murmurs turned to declarations. Aggressors, not arbiters, a rep intoned. The chamber buzzed, shifting power dynamics galaxy-wide. From Luna, Irin Kale keyed upgrades into the seeds. Continuous broadcast mode, she commanded. The devices forced 100 Drathis ships to loop crime footage endlessly, signals beaming to every corner of the stars. Let them drown in their own evidence, Irin said, her team accelerating the drain. In the Alps bunker, Isolde Kane stood in her silver-blue uniform, addressing her command staff. We've turned his fire into our warning bell. Her words echoed through secure channels, stealing resolves. Data confirmed the broadcast's reach, galactic outrage building. A Drathis officer, disillusioned by the hacks, defected via encrypted burst. Command ship vulnerabilities. Core reactor exposed at grid point 47, the message read. Human analysts pounced, integrating the intel into counterplans. The traitor vanished into fleet chaos, his act tipping scales further. Drathis energy levels plummeted 70%, systems failing across the board. 200 ships withdrew, engines straining under depleted power. Retreat orders crackled, creating orbital voids. Human sensors tracked every move, plotting intercepts. Lunar orbit stirred. Humanity's 500 stealth cruisers powered up, FTL drives humming at 5 times light speed. Encircle them, Isolde ordered. Vessels slipped from behind Luna's shadow, cloaks dropping as they accelerated toward the weakened fleet. Kalor summoned an emergency conclave with his nobility. Reinforcements now, he demanded over scrambled links. But 60% of reserve forces refused, citing the broadcasts. Your folly risks us all, a Duke replied, cutting the feed. Isolation gripped him, his bridge dimming as power waned. Galactic surveys flashed results. 75% of species now backed humanity. Terra Prime emerging as a resistance icon. Petitions flooded the council, demanding Drathis accountability. Neutral fleets mobilized observers, edging closer to intervention. Irin monitored from her lab. Upgrades holding. Their ships are screaming their secrets. Engineers refined signals, ensuring loops persisted. The lunar base thrummed, humanity's tech edge sharpening. Isolde reviewed defector data. Target the core, she said. Staff plotted trajectories, cruisers closing in silent arcs. The bunker vibrated faintly from distant impacts, but shields held firm. Kalor's lieutenants reported losses. Allies gone, energy critical. He slammed controls, ordering holds, but retreats widened gaps, inviting encirclement. Twin cities below pulsed with updates. Civilians clustered around screens, watching Drathis falter. "We're winning," whispers spread. Morale peaked, hidden lives fueling the fight. Council debates raged. Zorath reps pushed motions. Sanction Drathis. Uphold true law. Votes leaned human. Broadcasts fueling the fire. Irin's upgrades peaked, seeds forcing more loops. 100 vessels turned traitors to themselves, she noted. Data flowed back, exposing more plans. Isolde's uniform gleamed under the lights. Press the advantage. Her orders dispatched, cruisers nearing strike range. Kalor's conclave failed. Nobles abandoned him, reserves static. Despair crept in, his metallic frame slumping. Orbital voids grew. Human ships filled them. FTL jumps precise. Encirclement neared completion. Surveys confirmed the shift. Humanity, once dismissed, now symbolizes defiance. Species rallied, broadcasting the catalyst. Irin shut a console. Phase complete. Their fall accelerates. Isolde nodded at the maps. Encircle and contain. The bell tolled louder, Drathis' echoes fading. Kalor stared into the void. How? But answers came in human forms, closing in. Resonant seeds reached critical mass, siphoning the last dregs of energy from Drathis vessels. 800 ships went dark, drifting at 0.01 C, weapons inert and thrusters cold. Hulls groaned under failing gravity, crews scrambling in low light. Kalor's flagship flickered, its once mighty grid reduced to sparks. Isolde Kane commanded from the bunker, her voice cutting through comms. Encircle the command ship. Stealth approach. Humanity's 500 cruisers dropped cloaks, surging forward at FTL bursts. They closed in 10 minutes, weaving through the paralyzed armada like shadows. Aboard Kalor's vessel, panic erupted. Phi Hanjoan clashed in quarters, 20% rebelling outright. Surrender or die with him, shouts echoed as officers turned blasters inward. Evidence broadcasts looped on every screen, fueling mutiny. Kalor barked orders, but systems ignored him. From Luna, Irin Kale initiated remote hacks. Her fingers flew over controls, injecting fabricated confessions from stolen data. Kalor's voice, synthesized, admitted aggression over open channels. "We faked the deaths for conquest," it declared. The galaxy tuned in, shock rippling through councils. Irin leaned back. "Your words, your downfall." Kalor trembled in his throne, metallic frame shuddering. "Self-destruct," he roared. Charges primed, but seeds locked them out. A minor blast, Ripidena, an auxiliary bay, venting debris harmlessly. No chain reaction. His eyes whirled in desperation, nobility stripped bare. Human cruisers locked tractors, boarding teams prepping. "Capture priority targets," Isolde ordered. Assault pods launched, breaching hulls with precision cuts. 500 Drathis prisoners taken, including high officers, witnesses for trials. They surrendered in droves, hands raised against overwhelming odds. The Greenlight Council broadcast the Covenant of the Bell. All civilizations must disclose shield tech. Community oversight is mandatory. No more monopolies on destruction. Delegates nodded across stars, the proposal gaining traction amid the chaos. Terra Prime's surface stirred. Underground vaults opened, billions emerging to sunlight. Crowds gathered at ruined sites, welcoming returning fleets. 7-day festivals ignited, bonfires symbolizing reclaimed freedom. Cheers drowned out distant orbital rumbles. Isolde confronted Kalor via hologram, her image projecting into his dim bridge. "Your law was fire. Ours is the bell that endures." Kalor glared, bound by his own crew. "Impossible," he muttered, but facts stared back. 90% fleet loss, economic toll at 10 quadrillion credits. Drathis Empire teetered. Irin monitored from Luna, hacks winding down. Prisoners secured, data archived. Her team powered off consoles, mission complete. The base quieted, victory settling in. Kalor's ship groaned under tractor beams, towed to holding orbit. Mutineers handed him over, their testimonies sealing his fate. "He led us to ruin," one said. Isolde's cruisers formed a victory formation, shields glowing. Secure the Nexus, she commanded. FTL lanes cleared, trade resuming under human watch. Galactic feeds captured the encirclement. Species watched in awe. Humanity's tech turning the tide without mass slaughter. Whispers of respect spread. Greenlight Council finalized the covenant. Sign or isolate, broadcasts urged. Responses poured in, alliances reforming. Terra Prime's festivals peaked, music blending with emerging tech hums. Civilians rebuilt, decoy ruins cleared for new structures. Kalor sat in restraints, eyes fixed on stars. His fire extinguished, bell tolling his end. Irin joined a surface link. We did it. Smiles exchanged, humanity's edge proven. Isolde stood amid crowds, uniform and spotless. Home secured. The Armada docked, prisoners processed. Drathis remnants scattered, economic wounds deep. Quadrillions lost, rebuilding decades away. Orbit stabilized, human patrols vigilant. The climax passed, justice dawning. The Galactic Union Station loomed like a silver hive, its docking bays swallowing Kalor's battered flagship. Drathis guards, their metallic scales dulled by defeat, dragged their Grand Admiral through antiseptic corridors. Kalor's 2.5-meter frame, once commanding, now slumped in energy cuffs, his four-pupiled eyes scanning for exits that didn't exist. The trial chamber awaited, a cavernous arena, its walls pulsing with holographic feeds, linking 200 species across the stars. Delegates sat in tiered arcs, their forms tentacled, crystalline, gaseous, flickering in real-time projections. At the center, Kalor stood on a raised podium, data chains glowing around his wrists. Prosecutors activated a data vault, unloading 1,000 pages of hacked evidence, command logs, strike orders, blueprints for FTL Nexus domination. The feeds went live, billions tuning in from distant worlds. Isolde Kane strode forward, her silver-blue uniform catching the chamber's sterile glow. As lead witness, she commanded the displays with a flick of her wrist. Humanity built decoys to expose Drathis's aggression, she stated, voice cutting through the hum. Holograms spun up, showing Project Twin's subterranean vaults. 50 million per city, shielded 5 kilometers below Terra Prime's crust, powered by geothermal reactors at 92% efficiency. Surface feeds replayed the strikes, New York's tide surging 300 meters, Shinjara's core erupting, New Albion's dust clouds lingering for 48 hours. No lives lost, Isolde declared. Drathis aimed for genocide. We gave them a mirror. Delegates leaned forward, murmurs rippling. A Zorath rep, its bioluminescent fronds pulsing, whispered, "They faked annihilation?" The realization hit like a shockwave, shifting galactic perceptions. Hologram screens cycled to 3D recreations. Neo York burned anew, tides warping in vivid chaos. Shinjara's explosions roared, New Albion's radioactive haze choking the sky. Gasps echoed as overlays peeled back the truth. Robotic frames disintegrating, holographic crowds vanishing. Empty streets gleamed beneath the illusions. They thought us extinct, a clawed delegate hissed. The chamber vibrated with outrage, species gripping rails as Dratha's deceit unraveled. Kalor's stance wavered, his metallic skin losing its sheen under the glare of truth. His fire law, built on centuries of noble conquest, crumbled before the evidence. Irin Kale took the stand, her grease-streaked overalls stark against the chamber's polish. She activated a model seed, no larger than a fist, and paired it with a test shield. The device latched, draining energy in seconds, collapsing the field in a flash of sparks. Resonant tech turns defenses into liabilities, she explained, her augmented reality glasses reflecting data streams. Metrics flashed, 85% energy siphon, real-time data hijacks. We didn't conquer, we exposed. She demonstrated again, the shield flickering out as delegates nodded. 80% leaned in, convinced by the live display, human ingenuity had cracked invincibility. Irin stepped back, a faint smirk betraying her pride. Their shields became our voice. Kalor mounted his defense, voice booming but brittle. The Charter of Stellar Paths enacted 2147 justifies our claim. Terra Prime blocks vital FTL lanes. His eyes whirled, seeking allies among the tiers. None met his gaze. Prosecutors countered with precision, overlaying 15 war crime violations, fabricated atrocities, unauthorized strikes, and intent to monopolize 5 systems. Hacked comms played Kalor's voice. Purify them all. Delegates recoiled, votes streaming in mid-speech. The charter is no shield for greed, the chair declared, a crystalline figure pulsing red. Kalor's plea faltered, his nobility exposed as a hollow shell. The chamber's verdict hit. Permanent demotion, life imprisonment on a neutral asteroid. Drathis lost 50% of its territorial influence. Borders redrawn in real time. Cheers erupted across Terra Prime's feeds, underground cities broadcasting the trial. Billions watched, fists raised in quiet triumph. Isolde remained composed, her dark eyes fixed on the chamber's central display. Kalor slumped as guards closed in, his frame shrinking under the weight of failure. The arena dimmed, holograms fading to focus on his retreat. The Greenlight Council seized the moment, broadcasting the covenant of the bell. All civilizations must disclose shield technology. Annual audits, community oversight, no more monopolies on destruction. Signatures flooded in, 95% of species ratifying within 30 days. Terra Prime, once a target, emerged as the galaxy's law arbiter. Neutral fleets pledged monitors, ensuring compliance. The Covenant reshaped power, binding stars to transparency. In his cell, Kalor sat on a bare slab, staring at featureless walls. His mind replayed the trial, fire undone by strategy. Not strength, he muttered, but cunning. His eyes slowed, defeat etching into his metallic form. The galaxy had turned, and he was its outcast. Isolde closed the session with a final address. No one kills in law's name anymore. Law belongs to all. The chamber thundered with applause, species aligning with humanity's stand. She stepped off the podium, her role as strategist cemented in galactic records. Irin packed her demo gear, grinning at her team. Seeds planted peace today. Engineers nodded, their lunar lab quieting as victory settled. The trial's echoes carried reshaping alliances. On Terra Prime, festivals stretched into their 7th day. Billions emerged from vaults, rebuilding under clear skies. Ruins cleared, new foundations laid, symbols of resilience. Kalor's transport jumped to exile, his empire fractured. Guards secured him in silence, his legacy ashes. Union archives logged the trial, deception undone, balance restored. Humanity's gambit had flipped the board. Isolde returned to her bunker, uniform still crisp. We rang the bell, she told aides, voice steady but eyes bright. The chamber's verdict echoed, justice carved into the stars. Terra Prime's surface stirred with new life. Cranes hummed over the scars of Neo York, Shinjara, and New Albion, erecting 3 new cities atop the decoy ruins. Each structure gleamed with alloy spires, a testament to humanity's refusal to stay broken. Billions poured from underground vaults, their steps light under open skies. Festivals stretched beyond a week. Bonfires casting shadows that danced with defiance. The FTL Nexus, once Kalor's prize, now hummed under human control, its lanes open to free trade. Isolde Kane stepped away from command, her silver-blue uniform traded for civilian gray. She penned her memoir in a quiet office, its pages detailing strategies that turned fire into justice. 10 million copies sold galaxy-wide, inspiring a new generation of tacticians. Her words carried weight, not as boasts, but as lessons in resilience. She met with aides one last time, reviewing rebuild progress. We didn't just survive, she said, voice steady. We redefined the game. Her dark eyes, once calculating, softened with pride. Irin Kale shifted gears, founding the Seed Institute on Luna. Her red hair still wild, framed a face now known across systems. She developed civilian-grade resonant seeds, designed to shield planets from quakes or storms. No more weapons, she told her team, tweaking a prototype. Just protection. Her lab buzzed, engineers adapting the tech for peace. A demo unit stabilized a mock fault line, earning nods from galactic observers. Irin's smirk returned, her ingenuity now a beacon. The Greenlight Council expanded, its ranks swelling to 500 members from 100 species. Their new charter oversaw shield tech audits, enforcing the Covenant of the Bell. Conflicts dropped 70% as races complied, fearing isolation. Trade surged, FTL lanes bustling with ships unhindered by tolls. Terra Prime's economy soared, galactic markets logging 200% growth in a year. The Council's chambers, once a war room, now hosted debates on shared prosperity. Drathis reeled from defeat. Internal reforms purged their military nobility. Kalor's kin leading the charge. His grandson, a wiry figure with dim scales, broadcast an apology. "The law of fire failed us," he said, voice breaking. "We seek peace." After 100 days of talks, a treaty bound Drathis to Terra Prime's terms. Their fleets docked, stripped of offensive arrays, under human oversight. On Terra Prime, a central tower rose, its peak crowned with a massive bell. It rang daily, each toll a reminder of the crisis overcome. Crowds gathered at its base, music blending with the hum of rebuild drones. A child pointed skyward. "That's our sound," she said, her words echoing through the plaza. Isolde visited the tower, her steps slow but firm. She met Aaron there, the engineer's overalls swapped for a clean jacket. They stood in silence, watching the bell swing. "From your seeds to this," Isolde said. Aaron nodded. "We turned their tech against them. Now it's ours to build with." Their bond, forged in crisis, carried a quiet strength. Their roles as scientists and strategists are now legend. The galaxy shifted in Terra Prime's favor. Species sent envoys, seeking trade and tech pacts. The Nexus, once a target, became a hub of unity. Ships docked daily, their crews marveling at human cities rising from ash. A Zoreth trader, Franz glowing, remarked, "You turned fire to light." Respect spread. Humanity is no longer the underdog. Drathis reformation continued, their society pivoting to diplomacy. Kalor's legacy faded, his cell a footnote in archives. The treaty held, their borders open to monitors. Galactic peace, fragile but growing, took root. The bell rang again, its tone carrying over plains. Isolde stood among the crowds, her memoir complete. She spoke softly, words meant for history. "We faced fire, not with blades, but with truth. Our bell tolls for all who'd claim law to kill. No more. We've shown the galaxy, humanity's strength isn't in destruction, but in building what endures. This is our law now, shared by all, forged in sacrifice, ringing forever." Her voice broke slightly, the weight of years lifting. The crowd stilled, her words sinking in, a doctrine etched in their resolve. Erin joined the chant, her voice rising. "For the Nexus! For us!" The bell's echo lingered, a sound no fire could silence.